Of all the things that happened with the Doodle auction, for me personally, the most exciting thing was to become friends with Leroy Neiman. I first met Leroy over 40 years ago at a book signing for his first book. I always admired his paintings, so I read in the paper that there was going to be a book signing at the Hammer Gallery, and I went there to see him. And he has his white suit on, his white hat, his long cigar, signing all the books, martini in his hand, and it was quite a show. Leroy Neiman first met me 13 years ago when I started the Doodle auction, and I was working with Cal Ramsey from the Knicks, and I said, boy, I would love to get a drawing from Leroy Neiman, the artist. And Cal said, I know Leroy. I'll give you his phone number. I spoke to him on the phone, told him about the Doodle auction, and he said, come on down and let's talk about it. It was such a thrill for me to go to his studio for the first time because he had all these paintings all around, and his floor in the studio was all with paint on it. And I used to tell him, one day every one of these squares is going to be worth a lot of money. I showed him drawings from other people, and he would sit there and turn page by page looking at the drawings. Leroy really liked the event, and he was on board from then on, from all the years after that. For our third Doodle auction, I called up Leroy and asked Leroy if he'd like to be our guest of honor. So Leroy right away said yes. What do I have to do? And I said, all you have to do is come. So he made a beautiful painting for us, and he also asked Liz Smith, the columnist, to be our guest of honor. So they were a perfect matchup. I was at the studio and Leroy said, you know, I know a lot of people. Let's try to ask my friends to see if they'll make drawings for us. So he gave me a whole list of people. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Hugh Hefner, Yogi Berra, Eli Manning, Sylvester Stallone, Tony Curtis, Sugar Ray Leonard, and countless more. One afternoon in the studio, I asked him, what's your favorite sport? And he said, my favorite sport is boxing. And I like boxing because boxing is the sport of underdogs. And I was always on the side of the underdogs. Just like you, you're on the side of the underdogs too, helping feed the poor people of New York. One auction fell on the same night the Yankees were playing in the World Series in New York. And Leroy said, I'm going to the game, but I'm not going to miss the Doodle auction, and I'll be there, don't worry. He stayed most of the evening, and then he went to the World Series. The last Doodle event that he attended was our 10th anniversary. We prepared special plaques for Bill Gallo, Peter Max, and Leroy to recognize the 10 years of contributions to the Doodle auction. Leroy's 90th birthday, I was invited to his birthday party, which was a small party in his house. So I got a photo album, and I put together all different pictures of the whole history of Leroy at the Doodle auction. And I sat with him, turning the pages and going through the book, and he enjoyed that very much. After Leroy passed away, Janet, Leroy's wife, said to me, she has a painting for us this year and for every year because she knows that the Doodle auction meant so much to Leroy. Having his paintings donated to us every year will still make Leroy a part of our Doodle auction for years to come. Besides helping St. Francis Food Pantry, he was also very generous. He opened up a school in Harlem for underprivileged kids, the Leroy Neiman Art School. He also has an art school in Chicago, and he helped and donated paintings all over the world. Between all the doodles that Leroy made and all of his friends that made doodles for us, through the years we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to help feed the poor of the New York area. We were fortunate to have Leroy Neiman as a friend of St. Francis Food Pantries. I'm really going to miss him very much.